There we go. Now we're live. I'm gonna mess with my settings now. Oh, of course it doesn't have the right mic on. There we go. There you go. So nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. It's been a while.
What do you do?
Yeah. How's everything going on your end?
It's been fun, exciting, all kinds of craziness lately. It's like busy from the minute I open my eyes to the minute I close them at night, but it's fine. We got a lot of work to do. But the energy is shifting and changing right now.
Oh, it's insane. It's crazy. Like, holy
It
crap.
is.
Like earlier on this week, I don't know
What
anybody
you
else.
can find.
It just, man, I'm being hit by a ton of bricks over here. And I wasn't even sure like what it was. So this would have been like earlier on in the week, like Monday. So I woke up like ready to fight, like my fist clenched, ready.
Well, maybe you were fighting in the astral, and you just you got your dukes up the minute you wake up. That might be why.
I was like, why am I so angry right now? And then throughout the day, I had to go and do some things that wasn't so bad. And then, I'm thinking, okay, my emotions are kind of all over the place. This is a little, I grounded, I did whatever, but I was like, I'm very off today. This is okay. And then, um, out here in one of like the group things, somebody, you know how you get like tagged and stuff, right? So there was
Yeah,
like a post asking, is there a local medium or a medium that you guys know that's reputable around this area kind of thing? And I saw that my name was tagged into it. So of course I get to that. And then I hear Tia, look at the other comments. And all of the comments were my name from 15 different people. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I just start crying. Okay. My husband's looking at me. He's like, are you all right? Like, aren't you supposed to be happy? I'm like, I am happy. What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, I am totally off right now. So it wasn't until my son got home from school, because I told you I have very gifted children, right? And he comes home from school and he sits down and he's like, Mom, can I talk to you? I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm really off today, Mom. Okay. Cause I thought, oh, maybe it's the time of the month kind of thing, like I was pertaining it to that. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I couldn't concentrate. He's like, I'm angry. Then I'm sad. Then I'm happy. And then I'm back to angry. And I don't know what I'm angry at, but my mind is going a million miles a minute. So in that moment, I kind of just looked at him. I'm like, huh, okay, hold on a second. So I went into a group where they show like your solar flares and like all of that. And all of a sudden I looked, I'm like, oh, well, that's weird. I'm like, I guess
yeah,
we're just gonna have to ride through this, babe. It's crazy. The energy's insane.
yeah.
Wow. Like,
In fact, I'll even check the Schumann right now because the last time I was getting notifications yesterday of some stuff that was going down.
absolutely, like, just mind-boggling. But I find that for
Oh yeah,
me,
I'll see.
oh,
That was
yeah,
yesterday.
yep.
Yeah.
So I got up. I fell asleep early last night because I couldn't move my body. I'm on this new thing for my one group journey to a healthier me. Oh yeah, okay. Right. See.
Check out the geomagnetic activity. The geomag was spiking
Yeah.
yesterday like hard.
Uh,
So
that's
yeah, it was the geomag that was setting you guys off probably. The geomag, what happens with the geomagnetic activity, we are very deeply rooted to the earth. We're the circadian rhythm, everything. There's just so many different things that root us to Gaia itself. And when she's being affected, we're being affected. And you can actually tell. You can feel these energies shifting. And it does kind of, it usually gives me headaches. I feel lethargic. I feel tired, unmotivated to do anything. I mowed a third of my lawn yesterday and I was like, fuck this. I'm done. Like,
and the rest of you
I'll do the
can
rest tomorrow.
wait.
Exactly. I'll do the rest today. It's not as hot as it was yesterday. That was definitely part of it. But I mean, it's just the energies lately have been really intense. And so,
Very
yeah.
much so. Very much so. I find that I went through like a couple days of just same thing, no motivation, extremely tired, just
Mm.
kind of like And then after that on Monday, I looked up because this was like day 2 for me. And I looked up, I'm like, okay, to like my spirit guides. I'm like, okay, guys, listen. I'm a little behind here. Okay. So when I wake up tomorrow morning, I kind of need to be back to like me, please. You know, even like a smidge. Thanks. So I kind of gone full throttle the last like 2 days. Yesterday I went absolutely nuts and did a lot of purging and painting and whatever. And I finally just said, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm looking at it and it just needs to be done. So I'm like talking my way through everything and you know what I mean? I'm like, we're going to do this. Let's go. Right. And it also started for me like a new journey in regards to like weight loss and stuff in my one group journey to a healthier me, which is our mind, body, and our soul. So I have to do my own videos, which is um, quite funny, especially with dogs,
Nice.
right? And I keep forgetting
Well,
how
I
to
mean,
do.
life likes to challenge us. Makes life more interesting.
Freaking with
And the dogs, they're, every time they bark, just consider it to be they're agreeing.
I like come up all red. My dog's there. I'm like, thanks for the encouragement. We're getting through it.
Oh yeah. It's
But I'm
been
so
intense.
back here again. And, I know that you wanted to talk about like the mediumships circle and stuff that is going on tomorrow. I've had such a blast kind of doing this. It really has kind of brought me back. We are coming up to the tail end to where I think I'll have like two more classes and then restart kind of again. Um, so tomorrow, I have written down that for those that are watching replays, you'll be able to see how the transition kind of like, comes up type of thing. But that doesn't mean
Yes.
that, you can't go back or, come see me in a future class or anything like that. But tomorrow I have down, we're going to be talking about the different kind of clairs. The last one that I did was, sitting down and giving you kind of suggestions on how to connect with your loved ones, how to really open yourself up, different meditations and coming into yourself. So the next one is, I'm just looking through my notes right now here.
It'll be
Uh,
Sunday, my love.
Sunday.
Sunday at
See, we're
1 o'clock.
wrong. Sunday, guys.
Yes.
I am a good
Sunday at
teacher.
1 o'clock.
Remember the day.
Time doesn't exist, so it's working against you anyway.
But yeah, we're going to go over, a couple exercises. And it'll probably, Sunday's class will probably be a little bit shorter. I seem to be stretching on like 2 hours to 2.5 hours, just because I do open it up to, questions and stuff. And I want to make sure that everybody kind of understands. Tomorrow, darn it, Sunday is going to be a little shorter. It doesn't feel like Friday to me. I guess kids are home. They don't have school, so it's throwing me off right now. But yeah, I have absolutely loved being a part of it because it's now sparked again just that teaching, right? And getting the messages that when certain things are happening with the students that have been a part of it and they're writing, they're like, holy crap, do you know what I just did? And I'm like, yay. Like that's so exciting for me, is to watch somebody really start kind of stepping in and embracing it. And yeah, you know what, there's going to be some moments where you might get a little scared, or moments that you're truly not understanding at that exact time.
They
But
keep it exciting.
exactly, that's the part of learning and growing, right? Not many things kind of shock me at this point, but that doesn't mean that there's not moments where I'm like, "Ooh." Go, okay, here we go. Now, what is interesting is I had something happen to me. So I actually wanted to talk to you about this. Just because not often does things happen to me to where I'm kind of sitting back going, what was that? Okay. So I've talked to, my other friends, and they're like, Tia, I really don't know. I'm like, this never happened to me in my life. So this past week, and of course, because I'm open to the spirit realm and open in general, there's things that can happen, I guess. So
Yeah,
I was
lots of
talking to
things.
my daughter to her dentist appointment in town. We had never been there before. This is our first time going there. And we pull up and I mean, this is a like a huge house, right? And she's like, "Why are we going into a house?" And I'm like, "Baby, you know what? Sometimes they convert houses into businesses and things like that. It's okay." So we walk in, and now this is really early in the morning, so I kind of forgot to ground, which don't do that. And we're kind of looking. It's absolutely stunning, like stairways and all of that. You're seeing the same kind of like it's really beautiful. You can tell renovated, but there's still the old part. So I get her registered. We're sitting down and I'm kind of looking. She's like, "Wow, mom, this is really old." And I heard in my head, Tia, would you forget? Oh, you got a better ground. So I start grounding, which took a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Be aware of, how your body's talking to you. So then we move her to the back. She gets brought in. I sit down, they get her going. And then all of a sudden, I can hear a man. Okay. And I look over and I'm thinking in my head, do not make eye contact with him because then he's going to know I can see him. And I really do not feel like doing this at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just going to ignore him. So I can see him out of the corner of my eye, right? Because he's like, hello, 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 hello. Right. And I'm like, nope, don't acknowledge, don't acknowledge. Then I got really dizzy, like unbelievably dizzy. And I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? Now, here's the one thing that this was the first part. So typically I can feel if somebody's had a stroke or like a heart attack, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can feel things in my body, which is a way for me to acknowledge and validate, the way that they passed or things like that. But I'm sitting there and it was almost like my mind went into my body, but I could physically feel each one of my organs like shutting down. And it
Oh.
started with my liver. Then it was going over to my kidneys. Then I was feeling like I just wanted to vomit, like uncontrollable vomit. So my daughter's in the chair saying, Mom, are you okay? I'm like, okay, I'm not liking whatever this is. So I call upon my spirit team and I'm like, you guys need to take this away. Like, if you're making me
Yeah.
acknowledge something, I've got it loud and clear, but I need you to take this away because I'm really feeling ill. So I don't know what that was pertaining to thus far. I apologize. For some reason, we have a fire truck or an ambulance that might be going, nope, there's an ambulance. Um, and the dentist that was there working on her said, just out of curiosity, how old is this building? He's like, oh, it was built in the early 1700s. Wonderful.
Had a lot of activity in the 300 years.
Okay. Okay. So I'm kind of just still kind of just going with it and I'm trying to distract myself. And then in my mind, I keep being pulled to like a room on the third floor. Now, keep in mind, I haven't gone upstairs. We're on the main floor. So I asked the poor dentist at this point in time, I need to acknowledge to him who I am because I'm just in there like breathing. He's like, are you all right, ma'am? I'm like, yep.
Well, dentist offices usually do have a lot of activity because people are afraid in there. And whenever you're afraid of something, you can open portals and draw attention to things, and all kinds of stuff can be found in a dentist office. We learned that from Katie. Yeah.
Oh, so I said, are there other like people in the building, like on the other floors? He's like, yeah. He's like, we have, some estheticians and some massage therapists and stuff. They're on the second floor. And I was like, I keep being drawn to this room on the third. And so he stops working on my daughter. He's like, which one? So I kind of close my eyes and I tell him, okay, I'm walking up the flight of stairs. I get up to the top. I'm going past the banister. I said, first door on my left. And he's like, huh. I'm like, why? He's like, that's interesting. I'm like, why? He's like, because we can't keep anybody in that room. He's like, we've had 4 people rent that room. They last no longer than 6 months and they're out. He goes, and so now we have that in a storage space. He goes, but none of my like workers want to go there. He's like, I don't like it. He's like, would you like to go upstairs? I'm like, nope. Hey, not protected whatsoever. I'm not going up there. Right. And I was like, how much longer? I have to admit that by the time we got out of there, and it is about a 45-minute drive home, 10 minutes on before we got home, I was done. Like that building from its residual energy completely depleted me. Like
Wow.
done. couldn't put a sentence together. I couldn't do it. I was like, holy crap. I haven't been somewhere to that extent in a long time. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? And I could feel it. I could feel it while I was sitting there, and I'm trying to do the freaking pyramid, like everything I can, because I'm like, I can't leave her. And yeah, that was a crazy experience. But what came afterwards? So here's what I want to talk to you about. And if anybody else has gone through this, please comment because I'd love something, and I think you're the person that I can ask this to. So I get back, I lay down. I don't even put meditation on. I just go to sleep. Now I've had vivid dreams, but nothing like this. So I go to sleep and somehow into like, I know this is older times, just the way that they were dressed. Now I am still dressed normally how I was dressed that day. And I know it's old. There's like a train, and somehow there was an accident. It derailed. I'm somehow there. I see this little girl who's trapped. I'm looking at the other people, the way they're dressed, trying to understand why I'm there to begin with. And I wanted to yell out, well, can somebody call 911? We got to get an ambulance. But I said out loud, wait a second, you don't even have that in this timeline. Like in this time period, you guys don't have that. So in my head, I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to move her because I could damage her more. But I can hear like this tick, 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 tick. And I turn and I'm like, this thing's going to blow. So I go up to her and I said, listen, I need to pull you. This is really going to hurt. And I apologize in advance if I break any more of your bones, but I'm trying to save your life. So I kind of grab, I pull once. Okay. And then I pull a second time. We fall back. I drag her as far as away. And then bam, all of a sudden it blows. Now, these two men who are further down are staring at me like I look like a flippin' alien. Okay. And they're like, where did you come from? Who are you? And I hear, turn, you got to go. So I turn and I look and I see a portal and I heard run. I'm like, oh, okay. So I run through, land through this portal. And then all of a sudden, bam, I'm in another timeline. So I'm in some back alley somewhere. Again, still dressed the way that I am. But then I'm looking around going, oh no, where am I now? Okay. So I'm like, I got to find somewhere to give me a date. So I come around and I see that there's this little newsstand. So I look at the paper and it said 1903.
Holy shit.
Well, I am not in my time right now. Uh-oh. Okay. So I heard you need to find the next exit. I'm like, well, where is that? And they're like, do not be seen. I'm like, okay. They're like, wrong one. I'm like, all right. So I go back to the alley and there's like this older man who opens a door and he said, come in here. I have what you're looking for. Okay. So I go in there, I come in and he opens this back thing and he's like, you only have so much time. Go. I'm like, oh, right. So I jump into that one. Then I fall and now so now I don't know what timeline I'm in. And I'm just looking around thinking, am I back in mine? Okay, I'm in a forest. This isn't so bad. All right. And then there's this huge waterfall with like a thing that I've seen previously in my mind into other meditations. So I'm just kind of standing there looking at it thinking, okay, I don't know where I am right now, but okay, this is fine. This is peaceful. Then I hear this man say, ma'am, ma'am. And I turn around and they're like, are you okay? And all I heard in my head was very short answers. Yep. How did you get out here? I don't know. Do you know where you are? Nope. I was like, short answers, short answers. And then I said, can you help me get out? And they're like, yeah, you need to follow us. I'm like, okay. So I start following them. Now I know that we're coming up. I'm not in 1900s anymore, like not early 1900s. Like I know I'm coming up more closer to our timeline. So I start following and we're walking forever. And then we come over this cliff. And as we're looking down, all I saw were just cameras everywhere. And I heard, you cannot have your picture taken or on video. Turn left and run. So I turned left and I saw this portal, but it started to close to where I literally like jumped through it. And you know, when like your feet at the end just come through, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting up in my bed. What the frick was that?
Well, one of the interesting things, and I have a friend of a friend who has moments where she doesn't see our time. Like she'll step outside of her house, it'll be the 1900s, and she's seeing carriages going by and stuff. And it really caused a lot of problems for her as a youth because she's not able to see what's actually in front of her. She can see stuff that's other people can't see, which caused a lot of confusion. So this is something that quantum jumping is basically what happens. We do it through astral projection. We can do it all sorts of different ways, through psychedelics, etc. But you can actually do it completely sober, where you are literally going and visiting another time. And it's funny about astral projection is we often jump through those portals. We just don't remember doing it.
Okay.
So those portals are around us at all times. In fact, we open those portals all the time. We just don't realize that. One of the most common ways I find portals in people's houses are self-opened portals, where you have opened it through astral projection or some kind of an divination work that you were doing, and you don't realize that these portals are everywhere. And people are going to start seeing them more. We've seen them jumping, up in the sky. You see the ships that are using them for jumping a lot. And sometimes it just looks like a perfect circle in the clouds.
Yes.
But that's what it is. It was a portal that opened, that somebody had opened and then went through. So this is also the case for the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon Triangle, and there's so many other places where these portals are open, especially if there's ley lines in the area and stuff like that. So what's interesting is, it's easier, far easier for us to quantum jump the way you did through your mind, through astral projection and that sort of thing, through dream work. Because, I mean, time isn't real.
I had trained before, like I was doing quantum jumping. I was doing until I met you, and then I'm like, okay, I just need to be a little bit safer now. Okay, because I
Yes.
didn't know everything that came from out of there. So I stopped it. Like normally I'll put a meditation on or a hypnosis in order to do it, right? But I've always only just gone up. That was the weird thing for me, is that I was like, man, why I really would like to go see the pyramids. Can I not go
I
there?
think those were your
But
guides you were talking to personally, or at least if they could see you, then they were either your guides or some sort of ET or some sort of
mm,
other astral traveler, something like that. So they normally wouldn't be able to see you if it's a dream like that. But the fact that they could shows that you were actually, astral projecting. That wasn't a dream that you created in your subconscious. That was something that you actually went through. Um,
like
But keep in
yeah.
mind, we do create things, scenarios all the time with our minds too. It's just that, these dreams, especially if they're very vivid and you can see them very clearly, that's
Mhm.
probably not something you created with your own mind. No, that's
I almost
probably
thought,
something that
I
actually
thought
happened.
maybe bring somebody back with you from the from the house, because this happened just after I left the house. So I'm like, huh, was I going through what like somebody's gone through there? Like, I mean, it is old. That's crazy. Okay, I'm
Entirely
gonna jump
possible.
because I woke up and I'm like, when I got up in bed, I didn't, when you're in the moment where you're like, am I still dreaming or am I awake right now?
Oh, I've had those many times where
Right?
you
I'm like,
can't tell if it's a dream or real.
whether I'm actually dreaming or whether
And
this
the
is
funny
actually.
thing is, I have pinched myself in a dream and it still hurts. So I'm like, God damn it, I can't tell the difference.
That would
Because
be
I pinched
that would
myself. Am I dreaming? Yeah, it hurt. Okay, I'm not dreaming it. But then I woke up and I'm like, shit, I was dreaming. So I pinched myself literally in my dream to believe whether or not it was real. But this is the thing, is that when dreams are real. It's just whether or not you were creating it in your own mind in that space, or if you're going out into the world and creating.
right.
So
Well, I appreciate
Leanne says that she definitely thinks the building had something to do with
I really feel is that I'm not, I don't really want to go back there. I'm
it.
not gonna lie to you. I was like, oh, I can handle a lot of things, but for some reason, like I really feel like there had to have been a push from there because like I said, I came home, I didn't put anything on. I was so tired. I was like, I
Hmm.
need to go now. But I appreciate your insight because it was one of those moments for me where, I love
There's
teaching, but I prefer.
somebody's walking around in my house. Really distracting. I don't know. Nobody's here.
All right,
I'm a
let's see if
smudge.
let's see if
Where's my lighter?
I tap into that.
I did have to get a clearing this
I don't
morning.
know if
I had a Lizzie harassing me last night.
oh,
They're relentless. They really are. I pissed them off. I cleared one of them from somebody that they were very deeply rooted in, and they didn't appreciate it because they came to harass me right after. So,
there we go. Let's
but
get that off.
it's like one of those things. I really do feel like we're here to change the world. We're here to kind of free the slaves and protect ourselves and learn all these new metaphysical things. So I like the challenges that are arising and all of these really amazing experiences that are happening that we're all like, what the hell is this? It's really exciting. It's a hell of a time to be here.
It is. And I try to tell people that like the veil is so thin and there's just no going back. When you open,
Yep.
when you feel it in your soul, when you're driven to start, taking the layers down of programming and all of that, I feel as though right now a big part of what I'm going through is going back to your inner child, being in your small
Yes.
moments, being what you see through a child's eye who's seeing something for the first time, and the joy and just curiosity and things like that. Now, for me, as much many gifts as I have, one of them that's now started, and I was like, hoo hoo, because my girlfriend, she finally just admitted, I've been seeing this my whole life. I'm like, that's your freaking gift. She's like, I haven't shared it with anybody. I'm like, man, that's not something I do, which is to see the aura, right, of things.
Mm.
And my daughter just came like this week and she's like, Mom, and I'm like, what? And she's like, I think my eyes got to get checked. I'm like, okay, what's wrong, honey? She's like, I'm seeing colors around everything. I'm like what? She's like, people and trees and
Horace.
grass. And I'm like, okay. She's like, they're all different. She's like, I think something's wrong. And I'm like, no, 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 nothing's wrong, honey. I said, how long has this been happening? She's like, 2 months. And I'm like, honey, like when this stuff's happening, do you not think that you should come to me? Like, this is what I do. Why waiting so long? But there was a video on TikTok about the hand and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I say blue. Holy crap, I see the blue. There's blue. And I got so excited. I was like that little 4-year-old girl that I'm like, oh my God, what else can we try this? Right? So I'm like trying my hand. I'm putting objects up and I'm just staring. I'm like, out of the mind's eye. Out of the mind. Oh, that's yellow. Oh, I've never seen that before. So for like an entire day, I'm grabbing all these different objects to try to see. And my girlfriend's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Just a little girl's coming out because I've never experienced this before. But it's not to a point where I can like look out and see it. But that was my first time ever really doing it. And I'm like, oh, I'm learning something new too. Right. And that's the thing, is that there's so much to explore. Like so much to explore. And, you know, don't put yourself in the same box as everybody else, right? I'm thinking, how many more gifts would you like me to have over here? Right? Like it's a lot, but I'm gonna take it because I think it's freaking awesome. But yeah, I feel like right now we're all supposed to kind of come back into our inner child and just be in moments. You learn so much more about yourself being in moments and being silent. We just don't like doing that because being in silence means this starts.
Silence used to be painful for me. It used to be agonizing. That's why I'm so into music. If there was ever silence, I would fill it with music or something else. Silence
But
has always kind of bothered me.
I find for me, I could never go to sleep without hypnosis or meditation to shut my mind off, to not hear my thoughts, not hear dead people's thoughts, not whatever. Like, and it has been such a huge part of my life for, almost, 10 years. But now without I only just looked back last night without realizing it. They're slowly getting me to where I'm doing it myself, right? Because I want to be creating my own meditations and I've been writing things down. So I'm not listening and I'm kind of just laying there and I'm like, okay, and we breathe. And with every breath, we're going deeper and deeper. And I'm bringing myself through it through my own. And I'm like, holy smokes. Okay, hold on a second. This is actually quite powerful. And in mediumship and things like that, you want to be able to find ways that you can turn off.
Or at least
And
dial back, turn down. Anyway,
yes, I mean, there
that's
are
one of the
times,
things my own guides said to me. They're like, enjoy the quiet time while it lasts, because they're tuning it up, and I have noticed, you know, that it's just the world is not as quiet as it used to be. You're getting my thoughts have been, like I already think a lot, but the more my mediumship increases, the more I am picking up other thoughts, intentions, vibes from other people. But then I also immediately knew when I got that attachment yesterday,
that's
immediately, because my
that's
thoughts
what I
shifted,
love.
my
Really,
attitude changed, and I was like, wait a second, wait a minute. And sure enough, I
the
was like, there's a
awareness.
shift in the force. I can feel it.
That's the awareness, though, right? The key to, and you, I know you agree with this. The key to evolvement is awareness. Once you become aware of yourself, your body, your surroundings, and energy, just like you said, all of a sudden something will happen and you're like, nope,
Mm-hmm.
hold hold on a second. This is not my energy here. So then you start kind of diving in. Okay, what is this, right? I mean, for me, I think because sometimes that was my rude awakening. So I just heard my guides right now saying, I'm sorry, Tia, what did you just say out loud? Yeah, okay. Right? Because there's times where again, I have that little part of I'm fine, nothing's coming my way. And then it's, oh, did you get comfortable? Oh, you got comfortable. Well, here you go, right? Of what that happened of, oh, wait, hold on. And it's no, no, no. We still need to be in awareness here. Yeah, okay. Okay. And I love that your mediumship skills are definitely ramping up because I can hear your spirit team as well. What is with a smaller book that's like small? What's that? Do you have like a little notebook? Like this thing that they're showing me is small. Um,
I have my tarot book that a little, but I don't think that's what they're talking about. It's not a
almost
notebook.
like I was that's so funny you said that because it's almost like this size, a little bit bigger than what a tarot card would be. They just threw that in my face. It's got like you flip
Interesting.
pages. Why are you
I'll have
showing
to
me?
keep an eye out for a little notebook. Maybe I'll have to buy one.
Just see why, because that just came out of nowhere. What are you guys talking about? Okay. Well, this is weird. So they said she needs to have a little notebook because we're about to give her number codes. That's what they just said to me. And then I can see like a 1, 3, 5, 7 over, and then like another set over. And then there's like four numbers, and it's like this go, this go, this go, this go. And then there's something underneath, and I don't know what that means. I have no
Interesting.
clue.
My father used to keep notebooks full of numbers, and I asked him why one day. And it was, remember those yellow pads that you could fold over, you know what I mean?
Ah,
He used to keep one that was nothing but numbers, and I asked him one day about it, and he goes, "It just feels really good to write them down." Is what he told me. I don't know what it means. It just feels good to write it down. So maybe I have to do what my dad used to do and just start writing
that's
down numbers randomly in the
crazy.
book.
That's crazy because that's what they're showing me. They're not showing me big, it's just small, but they said this needs to stay with you because when they come, you're going to be writing down the numbers. These numbers are, yeah, like that was random.
I've really been drawn to numbers lately. I've numbers get my attention like crazy. It's like the best way to get my attention right now is with numbers, because I notice it immediately. If there's certain numbers that get my attention, and even Siddhartha, he said 108 was his favorite number. So I now I've noticed 108s popping up when with other synchronicities. So I look for the numbers quite a lot, and that helps.
Maybe
So
that's
thank you for that.
maybe that's why. Because I was like, I don't know what's happening right now, but I have to share it. So obviously, there's a reason why I needed to share it with you today, unbeknownst that
The
your dad knows.
universe is math. That's the thing. Everything is math, technically.
Yeah.
Every object in the universe has codes that so, I
Mm,
mean, even you have a code. Every single one of us has a unique frequency code that will allow it's like our name, but
yeah.
our number name.
They showed me, like, when you see those movies and it was all squiggly, but it was all like, yeah, like numbers and codes.
Well, if you
Like that.
think about it, light codes are what we're downloading recently. Many of us have been picking up light codes from these massive solar flares. So people wonder why they're getting headaches and why they
Mm.
need to drink more water during these solar flares. That's what I'm drinking. I'm just drinking water the last 3 days because
Yeah, I've been drinking.
the headaches.
I got my big
It's just
cup
ice
and I'm
water in
so
it.
thirsty. Like I can't get
Mm-hmm.
enough water in my body. Like I
Mm-hmm. Same. I cannot drink enough water. I feel dehydrated even if I've drank 2 giant bottles of water.
right.
So part of the reason for that though is water is needed for the crystalline of the tech of the downloads. When you're basically unpacking what you downloaded.
Mm.
It's a simple way of putting it. And it can take weeks.
I
You
love
can get it one massive download on whatever day, but then it could take weeks for you to really
mm,
acclimate to those energies and those codes that you've downloaded. So, I mean, we are quite literally, complicated solar laptops, basically. Like
yeah.
we're picking up signals all the time. We're sending out signals all the time. We're storing data. We're playing games in here. We're doing all of that.
Well, it's funny that you say that because leave it to me to do it. Okay. So my girlfriend calls me and she's kind of rushed to, not rushed, but she was having major heart palpitations and her anxiety was like very high, was acting up and stuff. And so she's a teacher and they sent her to obviously the hospital because it had been hours. Okay. So she messages me and right away, I already know. I already know. And I'm like, "Mm-mm." And they're like,
Mhm.
Dia, they're doing EKGs. Nothing is showing up. But the doctor came and actually put his hand and he can feel it looking at it and nothing is changing, but he can feel it. I was like, uh-huh. Okay. So I jump in my car. I grab all of my stuff, my stones, my selenite, everything, pack it into a bag. And I'm like, I'm out. Okay. I find her in there. I'm not even thinking. I'm not. Whoops. So much later that I realized what I did. Okay. I ask, I get there. I'm like, what room is she in? They send me and they're like, only you, Tia, would jump in your car. I'm like, I know what this is, man. I'm getting you out of here. So I have her kind of like laid down. She's still kind of like hooked up. And she's like, they've done tests, they've done everything. And the doctor just doesn't understand. And I'm like, oh, bless you, honey. I'm like, you're being downloaded right now. Okay. Here's one of the side effects. Your body's changing because I can see it. Okay. Okay. So I do a Reiki session on her right in the hospital. Okay. Not thinking again. Okay. One of the nurses comes in and I'm kind of just coming down and she's looking at the levels and she's like, what the frick? She's like, how did you just go down so much? And I'm like, because I just did Reiki on her. Okay. She's like, oh, okay. Hold on a second. So I brought a huge selenite stick. Okay. Like this one. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I was
It's
like,
like a wand.
I was like, I was like, hold on to it. Like, don't let go. Hold on to it. So she kind of has it like underneath her blanket and she's holding on to it. Now, when I walked in there and she saw it, she's like, they let you come in with that thing? Not thinking. Okay. Oh, all right. So we get it down. The doctor comes back. He's like, we're going to have to hook you up to this. I still don't really understand what's happening, kind of thing. Now, keep in mind, the nurse, I'm sitting down, so she's kind of in front of me. And I'm like, dude, what happened to your ankle? This is a problem. Sometimes I don't think things just come out, right? Especially when I'm in public. And she's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. What? I'm like, what's wrong with your ankle? What did you do? She's like, holy crap, I just heard it a couple days ago. I'm like, well, that's not going to help the knee that you just heard a couple months ago. She's like, how do you know this? I'm like, because I can see it in your body. She's like, what? Okay, so I get her all up. And she's like, are you like a guru? I'm like, I'll take that. I'll take that. Thanks. Right. She leaves.
I prefer
He comes
sage
back, and I
spinach.
look at him and I was like, listen, doc, I said, I need you to understand something. You're going to see a lot more of this coming in. You're going to get a lot of people with heart palpitations, very dizzy, extreme nausea, vertigo issues, like feeling extremely sick. And he's like,
You might be seeing
huh?
demon faces too. You never know.
Right? Why? I'm like, well, because we just shifted into a new vibrational frequency. We're getting downloads, we're getting whatever. You're not going to see this on your machinery. And he's looking at me like, huh? Then my girlfriend's like, Tia, we got to go. I'm like, okay, have a good day. Bye bye. Okay. We leave. So when I tell my other friend about what I did, she's like, you walked in there with the selenite stick? I'm like, why is everybody like this? And she's like, Tia, do you realize that we're not allowed to have cell phones? I'm like, oh. She's like, do you know how much energy your selenite stick would have been giving off? I'm like, nope, didn't think of that. As I have like the stones all the way down. She's like, only you would go do that in a hospital. I'm like, yeah, I didn't think of that. I just needed to go do it. But now she's
It's
fine. I'm
really
like,
weird. When you did this, there was some ash on my computer, and it literally jumped because I was just burning the same thing. Right when you did that,
the
the
thing,
ash on my laptop just went. It actually moved with your hand. It was really weird.
I feel like I'm at my strongest right now.
You,
Like I
I mean,
really do.
well, strongest so far. You're getting stronger.
I am. I am. It's like ramping itself up to points where, and for everybody who's watching right now, when you're going through something new, take time to let it sink in, right? And question it. Why did this
Yeah.
happen? What is the learning lesson from this? There's always learning lessons, and things will happen to you, even though we're down here thinking, well, this sucks. They're up there. No, you're ready for this. You're ready for this. Okay. You can swear all you want down there. We're up here going, keep swearing. What are you gonna do? Wait, what are you doing? Yeah, we're moving forward. Oh, we're moving forward. Okay, that's good. And it doesn't matter how spiritual you are, how open you are, how whatever you are. We're all the same. And that's why I want to share my experiences. So people don't, I always say, I'm just your girl next door, right? I just have gifts, but I'm no different than any one of you. I take my time, I question, I research, I call my soul circle. Let's have a gathering, right? We all
Yeah.
go through it, and then it's okay. Well, that happened unexpectedly. How do I get myself out of this? All right, let's talk above. What's my next step? Okay, put it in front of me, and then continuously going forward. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Let the fear go. Yes, shock might come, like me, where I'm like, what the frick just happened there? Okay. And, I have to take time to let it settle in and understand. And then I'll come out and be like, okay, so I'm going to share this. Who's on board? Right? Don't be afraid of it. So many of you guys who are watching right now have stepped yourself out of fear, which is one of the biggest leaps that anybody can do. Because once you take that leap, you know in your soul, I'm never going back. I'm not doing it. There's more to me. And the more to you is not about your job. It's not the money. You have to let go of it, right? Yeah, we need money to survive, but you need to also understand that when you are doing what makes you happy and brings you joy and, fulfills your heart, the money will come to you naturally. You will not need to look for it. You will not be left behind. You will never struggle. It may not necessarily always be in a physical form of, cash coming into like your bank accounts. It could be little blessings that you're getting throughout the day, or, a free thing over here, or whatever it is. These are the things that you guys need to pay attention to,
Yeah.
are the little blessings. I wake up every day and I say, I'm so grateful for the little blessings and miracles that are coming to me today. And sometimes it could be the smallest little thing where I see a baby with just this freaking chubby cheeks and whatever. And I'm like, oh, You're so adorable.
Since you were talking about abundance, I thought I would might share some advice that I got for a friend from her clearing the other day. She
Mm,
was asking about how she can attract abundance, and the guide said to create an abundance jar. So, for those of you who feel like you need more abundance in your life, you create an abundance jar. You write everything you want on a piece of paper, and then you put it in the jar. You can also put jade crystals in there. You can put mint in there. Look at that. We're talking about it and you already did it. Amazing. You can also put feng shui coins, anything that you feel will attract abundance, citrine, stuff like that. And then you seal the jar and then you keep the jar in your mind as often as possible. You carry it around with you, you put it next to your bed, and you visualize, the abundance that's going to rain down on you. And you never say things like, I don't have the money
mm-mm,
or I'm broke
mhm.
or things like that, because that is immediate self-sabotage to your abundance.
Absolutely.
So, and you have to visualize, it's like you may not have the money yet,
Hmm.
but it's coming. And that's because you're not ready for the money yet.
Yeah.
When you're ready for it, it will come. And you
Yes.
have to be patient and trust the process. Know that it will arrive when it's needed and when it's meant to arrive. And when the opportunities come, do not question them. That's another thing. Often we question, is this right for me? Do I really deserve this?
Hmm.
Stuff like that. And that's also self-sabotage.
That's
And they also said that you can create two lists. They recommended a list that you can also write in a journal or something.
hmm
And two lists. One is a list of what the universe will provide for you. So you want the universe to give you something that you need, and then
hmm
the other list is something that you can manifest for yourself, things that you can do for yourself. So one is a list that the universe is going to attract for you, and the other is the things that you are going to manifest and attract for yourself.
I love that. I
Yeah.
do. And the crazy thing is, Laura, and I mean it's finally sinking in for me, but for the average person, it's hard. It's hard for your brain to concept when you are hearing spiritual coaches and mentors and teachers literally saying all the time, because I'm repeating it. I'm like a broken record, where I'm like, your words and thoughts are power.
Yeah.
You create your reality. So for
100%.
me, it was having to get past the fear based, the self worthiness, the imposter
Imposter
syndrome,
syndrome.
right?
Jinx.
See, right? Like these kind of things where I'm like, wow,
Mm.
that is something. Like, my mind is there, my heart is there, but then there's still that little piece back there going, do you really deserve this, Tia, to this extent? And so now I'm telling people, we always don't tell me that any of you guys watching right now have not done this because you're lying. Okay. Where we always say, if I win the lottery, I would this. Everyone, see? Everyone. And everyone who's watching, I don't know how many people are freaking watching, okay? But we have all done it. God bless my husband, still on that journey. Okay.
Technically, I say when I win the lottery. I don't say if.
Why does it need to be when? Right? So the way you have to look at this, now I got goosebumps. This is hitting a whole bunch of people. Like my arm hairs are standing up. How I want you guys to look at this is take that first part out. What is the rest? What is it?
I
So
win
you're
the
saying,
lottery.
if I won the lottery, I would go here, I would buy this, this would be a part of my life. This substantial amount of money or consistent money that's in my bank, will provide me with a luxurious lifestyle of being able to travel, to be able to do this. That part, do that. There's where your manifestations are coming from. Okay. And I say, go big or go home. Don't play small. There's no small. No, no. We played small we've done thousands of years. Okay. Playing small. You are not small. You are a creator. And yes, every single one of you can live the life that your soul truly desires and that you're supposed to have. The other part of this, and I just realized this, is that the one emotion that for some reason, and this is programming, okay, that's hard for us to sustain is happiness,
Yeah.
true happiness. Think about it. Because when you're happy, okay, just a week and a half ago was the moment in my life where I was sitting out in the garage with my husband and I sat down and I looked at him. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, I'm happy, like really happy. Like if I look at my life right now, babe, I am so content with what I have. I got a loving husband, two beautiful children. I got an amazing house. I got the soul circle of a lifetime. I wake up and I can be me. This is just wonderful. Like it was a happiness that I didn't know how to take because I couldn't stop smiling. And I'm like, I'm actually content. I'm not searching for anything more. Like I
That's
have
beautiful.
everything I could ever want in this moment right now. But then on the flip side of that, okay, so you're enjoying the moment, you're staying it for a little bit, and then you have that peace that's something's coming, something's coming, the brick's gonna fall, something's coming. You can't be happy like this all the time. Something's around that corner. I'm preparing
That
myself.
that is a common thought for a lot of people is, wow, things are going really well right now. When's the shit gonna hit the
When
fan?
is the storm? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Because we don't know what it's truly like to just be happy
B.
and just be. Yes.
You know, the happiest person, I've told this story before, but I'll mention it again since we're talking about it. The happiest person I ever met was a homeless man on the streets of Dublin. In Dublin, Ireland. His name was John. I spent 2 hours in the park hanging out with him, and I just something about him. I was walking down the road. I had a lot of time to kill. I was just hanging out in the park, and I see this old man feeding the pigeons, and he was laughing and singing and so happy. He was just beaming with joy. And I walked over and I gave him a little bit of cash, and I just started having a conversation with him. And he is just the happiest man I've ever met. He loves his life. He says that he only thing he really needs is a bit of money so he can feed his birds, because the people around town love him so much that he can get food whenever he needs it. If it gets really cold, somebody will open their doors up for him. He's got a nice little spot with a tent and a bedroll and a blanket. He's so happy. He doesn't need anything else. And I'm sure several people have tried to save him, you know what I mean, and put him up somewhere, but he just doesn't want it. He's a free bird, quite literally. You know, and he just likes to hang out with the birds every day. And the birds love him, by the way. They would literally land on his shoulders and hang out with him, and he would just pet them, and they'd be wild pigeons.
I
And
love
it's
that.
just, I know, I really do love that too.
The perception of us looking at him would be, he needs help, he needs whatever, he must not be happy, he must not whatever. And that's the thing, don't judge a book by its cover.
I think
Okay.
about him all the time for
It's
that reason.
it is going
Health,
into
it really is a mindset, you know?
he's a minimalist. I can't get that word out.
Oh,
That was not going out.
words.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that. And, yeah, my heart. It just,
He's just the sweetest man. And I really do feel that, I think of him often when I'm miserable. Because I'm like, should I really be upset about this? Should I, if there's something going wrong in my life, I think about him, because I'm like, well, how can I turn this around and make it into a good thing? So just meeting that one man really did change my life. And he
well,
was
they
a
put you
homeless guy,
in that position.
like yeah.
Position. Your guides had you where, you're going to walk here. You don't understand. Here you go. And that's what I mean. When you look back, we don't see it when it's happening. Okay. We've embraced the
Yeah.
situation. We've gone through the situation. It isn't until later that all of a sudden you look back and you're like, okay, I kind of understand why this just happened. And this could be within a positive impact, or it could be a negative impact of, okay, wait a second, I remember that. I'm not doing that again. Okay, no, I steer in the other direction, right? Okay. And that's
Pivot,
wonderful
pivot.
that you're still able to, bring that up and have the gratefulness. The biggest thing is don't sweat the small stuff, man. Let it go. Honest to God.
True
You
that.
look at and ask yourself, is this worth it? Is this worth my energy? And a big part of that is you don't always need to be right. Okay. We have other people who have different opinions, different, things that they ways they look at things. And it may not necessarily be the same way that you do. And you're going to notice that. Yes, they will slowly start kind of coming off the radar as you go, right? Those that don't serve you to your highest good. You will have those that are surrounding you that are like-minded. Um, but when you come across those that may not necessarily that are looking at you, I mean, yeah, hello, light beam over here, right? When I had my one show, my first time ever having protesters, ever in my life. I was like, what the frick is going on out there? And I couldn't understand why there were so many men, like men. I'm like, wait a second, I know who bought tickets. Why are there so many men standing out here? So I see the cars and there was a truck beside me. And so I'm sitting in the car by myself, right? And I'm like, hmm, okay. I knew something was coming because it ramped its way up before I got into this place. Of course, leave it to me to go to the most religious place that possibly little town out in my area. Sure. Yep. We're going to do that. Let's send Tia there. So I'm watching people get out and they got flyers and whatever. They put a lot of work into this, to be honest with you. I'm going to give them some credit. Okay. And I wasn't nervous, but I said above, could like make this transition easy for me to go through. Now, keep in mind, they don't know what the medium looked like. No clue. Okay. They're just seeing other people kind of coming through. This is how I loved this. Okay. So keep in mind, I'm by myself. So I come out of my car. I know they're all standing out there. Okay. We got women, we got children, a bunch of men. Each step I took, they slowly started separating. Okay. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Like for some reason they're separating to where I'm coming up in the middle. So I kind of like come up and there just happened to be like one man and his little daughter was there. And he turns to me, he's like, excuse me, ma'am. I'm like, yes. He's like, this is information for tonight's festivities. Okay. Now no one else paid attention to them. They all kind of put their heads down and went. And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it. You have yourself a wonderful evening. He's like, okay. Okay. Walk up the stairs, get into my location. As soon as the door closed, I could not stop laughing. I couldn't, right? And I was like, oh my God, I need to see this. And they didn't even have it on white paper. They had it on fluorescent paper. They paid extra. Okay. And it was front and back with little quotes of, from the Bible kind of thing in this little brochure. And so I had it down on the table and I was like, oh, you guys put so much work into it. That's beautiful. I love that. Right now, I'm getting it framed and like putting it up because I've never, I've never experienced that before. So that one is kind of going down on the list. But it was a wonderful evening, right? I did one-on-ones the next day and fantastic. They want me to come back and stuff. But yeah, you're gonna go through experiences where you're like, huh? Okay, there we go. All right. I don't know how to handle this. But when I say each step, I was like, you guys rock up there. Like, you guys are right. And so just, they'll always have you covered. They will. They're not, they always have your best interest, no matter what.
Yeah.
And always remember before we go, because I know that we are hitting our hour. I would love for, many of you guys to join me on Sunday for the mediumship circle and going forward. I also will, in the process, my studio is almost done. Yes, been working my butt
How
off.
exciting.
So I will be, taping my classes and things like that. And then the new launch of what something dear to my heart is about is right around the corner. So lots of changes over here, but I would love to be a teacher or mentor for you if you are going through and are opening up into your mediumship.
I'll get
It
the
doesn't
link
matter
for you
when you're
guys.
actually coming in, but as I just said, I think I will have one or two more classes, and then we will be starting back at the beginning and consistently doing a rotation. So if you
And you're
happen to,
doing a chat this Sunday about
we're
connecting
going to
with
be
loved
talking
ones, yeah?
about years, and a bunch of different kind of exercises. I'm really big on exercises and stuff, of what you can be
There's
doing.
Tia's Facebook page for those of you who would like to follow Tia.
Yes, please follow, hit the follow button, and share with your friends.
Yeah. So there's her page, and I've also got, let's see, here we go, and the a star link. Oh, thank you, Daniela. Wonderful and so
Hi,
helpful.
Daniela.
So helpful. Thank you, Daniela. So on Friday at 1 p.m. today, we have the free live stream with Michael. Get your shift together, so you don't want to miss that for those of you who are into IQH and hypnosis. On Saturday at 1 p.m., we will have Tara Franklin, Clear Your Field Fusion. And then, okay, there we go. It was not working for me for some reason. I'm telling you, technology has been really, really weird lately. The last 2 days. Anybody else been having that? It's like we're back in Mercury retrograde again.
Data onto it, like it either pauses, doesn't open, can't hear.
Yeah, it must be the flares because I'm telling you, that's why we were 10 minutes late this morning. Like my camera wouldn't work, my computer was being difficult. Like it was really weird. So anyway, now it's actually loading. Here we go. Now I can read it. So Saturday at 1 p.m. EST, there'll be a free Zoom with Tara Franklin, Clear Your Field Fusion Yoga for all abilities. So for those of you who would like to try out some yoga, make sure you show up for that. And then on Sunday, we have at 10 a.m. the Sacred Sunday, which is free with Christopher and Daniela. And then at 1 p.m., we have in the paid membership the Medium Circle with Tia. And we also have a Siddhartha event, the Be More That You Are event. So this is a special event that for those of you who, there we go, may not have seen that. There's a Siddhartha workshop. We're just keeping everybody busy these days, you know, with all of this personal growth, self-help, inner child healing, shadow work stuff that we're all doing.
I love it. I really, really do. I love what you guys offer, within the memberships, to classes, to workshops, to all of it. And, this world needs it. And,
It really
when
does.
I'm obviously honored to be recognized to be a part of that, because everybody who is teaching and mentoring and doing all of this are such amazing human beings. And to
You
be a
really
part of
are.
the tribe is very humbling. So thank you, for acknowledging, who I am. And
You're
I love
amazing. You really are. You are incredible. So fuck that
no,
imposter syndrome. You better kick its ass.
kick it
You deserve your own TV show, Tia. I've been telling you that since I met
out.
you.
I'm doing it. I am. I actually am doing it. I am doing it. It's called the Soul Alignment Show. I've already got the freaking name. I'm about to be launching it soon. I'm going to be doing it my own way. There's a lot of things that I've been putting off on the back burner. I think I had to go internally really to finish the last bits of work on myself. And now I think I finally have come over that boulder. I'm pushing it down the hill and I'm done. I'm done. And one of the things is this is going to be uncut. I can't do this technology editing and freaking stuff. And I kept saying that as my thing. I can't. I can't. I can't. Don't ever use those words. Okay. Because you can. We just say I can't. So I used that for 3 years. I'm not good with technology. I don't know how to edit. And I heard, why do you need to
You are
edit?
great with technology.
Right?
You
I
know?
heard, why do you need to edit? You're not like others, right? Uh-oh. No? So why can't it be raw?
It's also important to delegate, you know. It's like if my car needs to be fixed, I don't go and learn how to be a mechanic, you know. It's like we do have to kind of simmer down a little bit with what we're trying to pile on ourselves when it comes to learning. You know,
Yeah.
ask for help when needed.
There it is. So I finally did it. I heard. Do you realize your soul circle? Do you realize why we have put these types of people in your path? Because this person who's doing the medicine, whatever, that's just going in one ear and out the other one for you. And we know that. So when something comes up, you have them. And oh, don't you already have a technology person? Uh-oh. I'm like, I know where this is going. I know where this is going. So you know what? You're gonna write them and say, okay, yeah. So for me to move forward, I kind of need a little bit more help. I got myself this far. So the other day, and he's like, I have been waiting for over a year for you to say it, Tia. I'm like, let's do it. Right?
It's
Like,
not easy
right?
taking those first few steps, but you're going to do amazing. You really are, you know, and I'm glad that we're kind of helping you get your feet wet a little bit before you take a dive.
I love it. I love it. And, thank you to everybody who took the time today to jump on with wherever you are in this world and whatever time it is, because I know we're all in different time frames, and I appreciate your time and your energy of coming in and just being a part of this podcast and listening to me ramble. Wah, 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 wah.
They love our ramblings, apparently. Everybody tells me our ramblings are the best parts when we're going off on a tangent. So it's totally cool. It's all good. Sometimes that's what the best stuff comes out when we're going off on a rant about something.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why
Mic drop.
there's no script, just open. Here's where we go, and that's it. And that's what I want my show to be, right? Is just a start. Get a topic and start. Go. And let's see where the frick this takes us, kind of thing. So, I'm super excited. I'm excited for the next part of my journey. I'm excited to be able to offer more to my clients as well as my students going forward. I'm no longer going to be in the shadows. You are going to see this face freaking everywhere. I'm ready to move up to the next. No, I am in the next level. See,
Yes, you
that's
are.
how
I was
it
you
is.
see what I mean? You got to catch yourself when you start saying it. It's hard to reprogram your
It,
mind and your
it's
thoughts and
showing
your
though.
words.
It's showing, and I'll do that on
Good
my
job
live.
catching
I'll
yourself,
say
though.
something and I hear wording, and you'll see me. Oh, wrong word. Wrong word. What am I supposed to say? Oh, right. Okay. So it's catching yourself. It's constantly catching yourself. I mean, I'm talking to myself all the freaking time, right? And then I'll hear Tia.
I mean, even
Oops.
if you don't catch yourself right up immediately, you know, sometimes it's hard. You sometimes you drop a few F bombs first, and then you realize, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're all a work in progress, you know? Give
You
yourself
pick back
grace.
up. The next second, the next moment is starting fresh. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't forget that every second of every day is a new start. Don't
Beautifully
forget
said,
that.
yeah.
Stop going back. If you've messed up, okay. Own it, understand it, and move forward with it. If
Mm-hmm.
somehow you've fallen, okay, get back up. That's how this goes.
Yep.
Don't waste any more time about the how or the why. Be in the moment now. Believe in yourself now. Believe that you hold everything in the palm of your hand. No matter what you're going through in your life right now, you are special, you are needed, you are wanted, and you have a reason.
I love you. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for helping our students on Sunday. Really, I'm so excited for everybody that's going to be a part of it. I'm going to be driving back from Daniela's house, so I'll have to catch the replay. I'm going to go hang out with Danielle and Christopher and make Organite this weekend, so that'll be fun. Yeah, I'm going to send you a piece. I'm going to send you some Organite. I'm making a whole bunch of gifts for a whole bunch of people, so I'll send you one as well. Okay.
Bye.
Love you.
Love
And I love
you.
all of you. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining us today. Make sure that you guys are attending these events this weekend because these events are going to be really amazing. Okay. So, mwah. I'll see you all on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Love you guys.
bye.
Bye.